Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to United Rogue Overwatch. We've got a very exciting game tonight as we are up in Ruby, and we're going to see the Baltimore Kraken taking on the Washington Rebellion. Tonight, your commentators are going to be myself, Ajax/Toucan, and I'm joined by the big baller Saucepan. How you doing tonight, my man?
I'm big chillin'. As I said, just got done moving furniture 5 minutes before this stream, so I think I'm just as ready to sweat as some of these players might be.
Honestly, both these teams are going to look to sweat a little bit. Right now, they're both 0-2. I think map records are also 0-6. So both these teams really looking to get a win here, going to help themselves push into playoffs. Because otherwise, staying at 0-3 for a season is going to be rough to try to do anything postseason.
Very, very much. That's definitely going to be because even if you get those next two wins, you're still down in that negative win rate. Likely down a negative map record as well, and it's definitely going to be hard to make a stance going in somewhere.
It definitely is going to be an uphill battle for one of these teams, but I think that they both could do it. We've seen some roster moves out of Washington. Unfortunately, shout out Moto. Just a little too busy right now, so he had to step down. But we do have Kieran, who we've seen a couple times in the league so far. So maybe Washington with this, different lineup might have a different look. It's going to be an interesting one for sure.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm used to rosters imploding mid-season and then the last-minute signs, but it does make for an entertaining story, I suppose.
Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely one of those things where I'm very curious to now see how Washington was performing. They went down 2 games where they didn't pick up a map, but in both of those games, those maps were pretty close. Like, it wasn't, all blowouts. They held it close. So I'm curious to see how the new roster is going to kind of adapt and do with this. As we head into Ruins on Ilios is going to be the first point of our first map.
In the past we've seen a lot of Widow play on this Ruins map, but I say it every time I'm casting, I want to see a Venture pulled out. I want to see a full Venture map. I want to see this played, and disappointed. No Venture so far, but rocking out with the Ramatra Monkey
Maytor
tank matchup here, and Maytor. That was another one. I thought that one was an interesting one to see cooking out of here.
See, like, when you were mentioning the Widows, I was thinking in my head, oh, Choco, we've seen through so many seasons now. He can't get hot. His Widow is elite. All right, we're going to say that instead of a sword, but...
We're going back to a hit scan. They're throwing us for a loop and a troll pick.
Both teams rushing out. We're going to see the dive versus kind of just this brawl. I wonder how Baltimore is going to kind of hunker down for these dives coming in, especially because Kieran is a great Genji player and Liam is a great tank. We're starting to see Washington push in a little bit. Nobody really taking too much damage.
Taking a big split focus here, and Baltimore's trapped in that room. And as I'm commenting, they immediately open up on that pick on the Lucio there.
With a support down, Washington's going to have to be very careful, but honestly, it doesn't look like they're taking too much damage for now. Kieran's going to have to be careful because he's starting to drop lower and lower. And it seems like, yep, Kate's going to find another kill on the May.
Looks like Liam's about to fall there as well, and Baltimore's just cleaning up here. Very convincing one fight for them so far.
Not a bad start. Honestly, it seemed like once they went down, their Lucio player, Washington was able to kind of stabilize, not immediately fall again, but then just Cake with another good kill as Baltimore continues to rack up the percentage. Fran taking out Kieran is a huge start for Baltimore.
And taking both DPS down at once, right there and there.
So now Washington's going to have to run away because it looks like Baltimore is not letting up. Foot on the gas, taking care of business is what we got right now.
It's looking like Baltimore is very, very pissed too. They don't like being 0-2. They want to take this one, and they're coming out balls to the wall, full aggression going out.
I really like this, and now you're setting yourself up with that aggression for success because you're staring at pretty much going to be 4 ults. The only one notably not getting up there is going to be Gingerbread. Liam's going to pop a Primal, hoping to get somebody, but He's able to get trash can, and then
and he's gonna fall off the map himself.
No, Liam. Choker's gonna get one with the dead eye, and then another with just the Peacemaker. Oh no. Peacemaker or Peacekeeper? One of those.
I think it's Peacekeeper.
Shit.
Peacemaker sounds good. I don't know. Peacemaker
Either
sounds
way.
like a hammer.
That I could believe that. Liam going down again. Choco seemingly unstoppable until Kieran finds him. But with only 15 seconds left on this first point, Washington kind of have to figure something out with these ults. They backed up a lot.
Especially playing without a tank here.
Oh no. They're down two.
We're gonna rush Blade. We're gonna see what they can pull with that. But Cake's gonna counter ult there. He's gonna throw that Blizzard. That's what it's called. It's named after the company.
Blizzard, great way to stop that rush Blade. There's Liam back on the Doom, but I don't think it's gonna be much as he's just looking to stall for now. Confessor back in on the Tracer and Big Ren on Lucio. They've got players, but it seems like they don't have the firepower they need to take out this Baltimore. All right.
Baltimore's
Pretty
taking map one.
convincingly.
That's what I was about to say. Took the words out of my mouth.
I think we saw some good moments from Washington here and there, but I think the biggest issue was you trying to set up for a dive like they were trying to run. Setting up for that fight, you would just have one person out of position. One person would just go a little far wide and boom.
Exactly that. And big showing I saw at Baltimore here is it's something I noticed in their first that week 1 game is they'd get these early picks at a fight here, and they were just unable to do a lot with it. It was very much like they got this pick and now they have this 5v4 advantage, and they just kind of sat and watched and they get collapsed on. But they're not anymore. They have very much, they're taking these picks and they go, all right, we have a pick, push in, get another one, get another one, get another one, and then it's a one team fight before they even realize it, which is definitely very much stronger showing.
Oh yeah. Having now 2 weeks under their belt, they're starting to kind of figure things out. And like you said, they're starting to be able to put some of these pieces together. Washington, unfortunately, still just kind of getting folded.
Just convincing 3 picks right out of the gate there. And
Oko went ham. My boy said, I don't want to play this game. Let me win and leave.
Very much.
We're going to see Baltimore kind of set up on this high ground. I'm curious to see. Washington looks like they're splitting themselves up too. Both the DPS going up to try to meet them. Meanwhile, Liam just staying on the low ground for now with the supports.
Seems like Washington here isn't really sure how to take this high ground angle that Baltimore's holding. This nest they built themselves. But as I say that, they pulled Gingerbread off the high ground. He's getting somewhat isolated there on the point, but
A quick collapse. Kieran's gonna go down.
Pick after pick.
Liam's gonna find one, but with 2 down their own team, make that 3. I don't think he's gonna be able to stand much longer. It's unfortunate.
I don't think Junker Queen's self-sustain is that good.
And that's unfortunate because Washington, they spent a little too much time trying to figure out, do we go high, do we go low, do we, split up? And because of that, now you're giving extra percentage, you're giving extra time for Baltimore to kind of read what you're going into. There's an early ice ball because Choco was hitting some nasty headshots.
So they're fully committing to just take the high ground, push them back, but Baltimore's not going to care. They're going to immediately get 2 picks.
Suzu's going to cancel the entirety of Liam's ult, and now Baltimore is, like you said, just going to collapse on the rest of Washington. Liam just hanging out on the point, probably going to die very quickly.
They didn't care. They said, you can cap the point for a few seconds. We'll take it back soon enough.
Confidence coming out of Baltimore right now.
Exactly.
Now they look to go and cap that point back. And honestly, what did that take? That took just a Ram ult. And so now you're really looking, we have a swap over to a Moira, so that's lost ult charge. You're really only looking at Blizzard, and Bob should be able to. But when you're running into a Rush, another Blizzard, a Deadeye, and Orbital, it's going to be an uphill battle, to say the least.
And it doesn't even matter with that Bob. He's getting picked immediately.
Double Blizzards are coming out. There's a Rush.
See what happens.
Everybody's using the funny ult.
hits the press Q button, and that's gonna be a pick for Baltimore, and they're just gonna
Make it 2
light this
more.
up.
That's going to be a quick Ilios going in the side of Baltimore. Taking the series 1-0 so far.
Very, very, very strong showing from Baltimore right out of the gate here, and as I said, 2 weeks under the belt, they very much are locking in here. They know what's working, and they keep sticking to it.
I think this especially, like you said, they know what works. They also know individual hero pools. If you go back and look at that, Fran has been amazing on the Kyrian Season Pass. Trashkin has been picking up the Juno recently. We've seen Choco dominate 1,000 times over on this Cassidy. And so you're kind of just starting to look. I don't know how Cakes May is, and I don't know how Gingerbread's Ram is. But assuming those are also comfort picks, you kind of just mesh this look together of, hey, we're just going to brawl it out, and this is a lot of our strengths. And it clearly worked in map 1. So Washington going to have to try and pick something that doesn't really favor that brawl for map 2.
Yeah. And even if they aren't comfort picks, it didn't matter for them, because they might not be comfort picks, but they weren't weak links either. Is they played to their strengths very well, regardless of whether someone was playing a pick that's known to them or whether it's not. Or yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm getting lost in the word. I'm getting lost in the words there, but point being is, comfort pick or not, they still played it all really well, because you couldn't even tell. You couldn't tell if they weren't necessarily the most flexible into that hero.
I think the Baltimore now is starting to put it together. Hopefully Washington can do the same. You know, this is their first match with Kieran. There are still 4 weeks left as well. So hopefully that gives them a little more time to flesh out kind of these hero pools, figure out what works, what doesn't. But Washington for now is going to figure out what map they want to take us to. They have a lot of options here. They can go to any of the game modes, pick from 4 maps from each. Is there anything that you're looking in the crystal ball? Is there anything that you're seeing Washington's going to pull out here?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, if they want to beat that brawl, they're probably going to want to pick something longer sightline, maybe, or like a very dive heavy map that they can, even with that brawl, they can play that over, because they wanted to play this dive here. Maybe they pick a map for that. So
we're going to see Hollywood. And this is a map that they've taken us to before. We saw them take it to Vancouver, I believe. I don't believe we saw Hollywood out of their match against Dallas. So this is a map that Washington, I think it was like Rialto they picked. They picked Busan, and I can't remember the last one. But this is a map that, you know, they played against Vancouver, so I'm assuming this is something that they might have scrimmed, or they might just be fairly comfortable saying, hey, you know what? This is good for our picks, or, you know, this is going to be bad for their picks.
Yeah. I was about to say that. I was thinking the same thing. Maybe they're going, whether it be a scrim or not, maybe they're thinking just comfort picks in general. Is their hero, they're thinking this will work with their hero pool really well. We can play this to our favor.
I am interesting. It seems like Baltimore really doesn't want to opt into the attack. You know, as loser picks map, the winner gets to decide if they want to attack or defend first. But it seems like Baltimore is comfortable on the defense, and so that means Washington's going to have the first attack.
So let's see if this works in their favor. Then let's see if this map pick works them having to attack first, because sometimes on these hybrid maps, at least in my experience, I've preferred that defending first, because if you can full hold that first point there, you only need to get that tick. It makes that attack far easier, and it becomes a lot easier to set the tempo as defending first. So maybe that's Baltimore's intention here, is they would like to set that tempo.
That was something that we've seen a lot of teams do, you know, regardless of if it's attack or defense. They are picking, you know, like whatever the map might be, Pitt really likes to attack first. It's all about setting that tempo, you know, that you mentioned. Baltimore is definitely a team that strikes me as we would rather have a good defense, draw the line in the sand, and know what we need to beat ahead of time, so we're not kind of sitting on this back foot.
Very much. And looks like they're just running right out that gate with that same comp, that Rom, May, Cass, Juno, Kiri comp that worked so incredibly well on that Ilios there.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going to see.
Exactly.
We're going to see some changes, though, out of Washington. We're going to see the Diva in spawn right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see that stick, but I am curious if Liam is going to go to another tank instead. Kieran now over on the Soj, and then we're going to go see the Tracer out of Confessor again. Guna on the Kiri. And we got Big Green on Ana. I think that is going to be new, and I think it might be a little hard forcing out some of these Suzus and then getting anti, but we'll have to see. As map 2 Hollywood is underway.
Looks like Baltimore just taking that high ground there. Probably, Gingerbread's probably looking to second they get the point, dirt dropping with the May, and I stand corrected. They get pushed off all at once.
Liam's just going
every
in,
time.
pushing him away. We love a good caster's curse. Choco and Confessor fighting in the back. Oh, and Choco's going to win that out. So now Washington's down a member.
Looks like Baltimore's coming around to retake that high ground. And they're going all in with that May rush.
Big Green's probably not going to be able to make it out of this. A minute already shaving off the clock. Washington stagnant. Yep, Big Green's going down.
Getting that massive stagger. It looks like Baltimore wants to just set right back up on this high ground again.
If you are Washington, you've got to be right. You got to be looking at that high ground saying, we know they're going to set up. We know they're just going to hunker down on it. We've got to do something a little bit better to get up there. You know, Liam's been great at diving in, but the support around him has been a little confused. You know, Kiri gets to go in with him. Now they're both separated. Suzu is early. Kiri falls.
Yeah, Liam's been taking that space at the Diva on the high ground, but as we saw at that first fight, is Baltimore didn't care. They just waited for that speed ring to come around, and then they just looped all the way in and rushed him down and S5.
The wall is going to be massive. Oh, Liam's going to go down, and that means Washington is probably not long for this world. We're going to pop overclock here in the back.
Confessor's going to take 2.
Right.
And
the DPS for Washington stepping up. It's just Gingerbread, and that should be Washington maybe getting this point. All right. Honestly, you're kind of happy about that. Using Pulse and Overclock. Kraken gonna get eviscerated there. To get that
for the
point,
touch maybe, but unfortunately, yeah. Only using both your DPS ults and coming back with 55 on a pulse bomb again already that's looking very, very good on the side of Washington here.
Now Trash Can's gonna be coming back from spawn, so if Washington wants to take any more space, put any more pressure, now would be the time as they're down the Juno.
Looks like that might be just what they want to do here. Liam looking to pressure that high ground, knocking 2 down.
Blizzard going down on point. Not really getting anybody because everybody's spread out so much. Kieran finding another one on the Fran.
It's going to be 2 ults out on the side of Washington as well there. And now we're at 2 on the side of Baltimore. And it is just
popping the Nemesis form and the God, what the hell is that all called?
Annihilation.
Thank you. He's popping the Annihilation to, you know, 1v2 the supports, gets 1, but Kiri just goes, you know what? I don't need this in my day-to-day life. I'm gonna TP out of here, dog. And so that ult gets 1, but you still lose the fight. Thinking you want that back.
Yeah. And the ults are still looking 3 to 2 with the side of Baltimore here. They have a little more favor in the ult economy, but you know, big, well-stuck pulse bomb, well-used nano, and that could easily be a fight for Washington. But they're gonna pop that orbital here on the side of Baltimore. Orbital.
All right, it's a trade out for now. Liam's gonna get out of Mac, unfortunately, as well, so he's not gonna make it. Honestly, Confessor just hanging out in the cart. Oh, they found him. Why did I open my mouth? That's so unfortunate for the kid.
Dare I say, the nano got canceled, I think. I look up after Big Green gets picked, and that nano's now at 0%, and I didn't see anybody glow in that fight.
I believe
unless
it
I'm
got
a little
on the
blind.
I think it got on the Soj. Yes, I'm
Maybe
pretty
it got picked
confident.
immediately then. I just did not hear any of the cues for it, and I was like, did it get canceled, or did they just die immediately?
It was hard
Either
because
way, it's a lost ult.
Oh, 100%. Oh, bomb's gonna come out just to get the remake. And with the remap damage, Gingerbread's going to go down. So now you're going to see Washington push up as they're going to take out Trash Can. But Choco... Oh my god, what is happening?
And he's playing into no supports here, but also deep in enemy lines. Deep in enemy lines, having to get through a diva to get to that point there. But I think that's going to work on the side of Baltimore here, is now Gingerbread gets that free contest because they don't... DPS have to run away. They can't fight a Ramatra just like that. No support.
And Choco's still just spawn camping. Oh, he's going to get both supports in the back because they left him alive. Now, the good thing is, if you are Washington, you did get rush out. You finally kill the Cassidy. So it's not total, loss. But now you're walking into a Blizzard, you're walking into a Deadeye, and you're going to be walking into another Annihilation. You're staying at some good ults yourself, but you got to be careful. Annihilation already taken out. Oh.
Taking a support immediately, getting that D-Mech right at the end there, and that's looking like a nice one fight for Baltimore there, and it's coming into... We're edging last fight territory here on the side of Washington. They got 3 ults in the bank.
And that really only needed 1 ult for that, which is huge. They get to keep both the DPS ults.
Huge. Exactly.
Maybe we'll get to see a rush overclock, put in some work, but right now Washington is just focused about getting to the point and making sure they have a clean touch. Liam taking a lot of damage. Choco's up on the back high ground. He's gonna drop in Deadeye in the back.
Some diabolical angles here, but it might not matter.
Overclock gets used. Oh, Pulse finds 1. Bomb gonna hope to stall and maybe get a kill or 2. Unfortunately not. And that's gonna be that round.
Deadeye might not have gotten any picks, but I think it did exactly what it needed to. It zoned Liam out, forced him off point, and completely left all of Washington exposed to that May ult there.
Honestly, I think at the end of that fight, you are coming in. If you're Washington, I think you need to push that Q a little bit earlier. It seemed like the first thing I heard was Blizzard, and that already is putting Washington in a terrible position because now the thing you need to contest for overtime is covered in a freaking snow globe. So what do you do now?
You just got to sit there and hope you don't get frozen. That's what I'd be doing.
Just praying to whatever God is above. Go on, don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. No surprises so far in the spawn room for Baltimore. We're looking at the same comp they've run. But we're going to see a little bit of a different look coming out of Washington. We're going to see a Zarya, Sim, Ashe on this side of the defense.
Very interesting layout. Spoke too soon about Baltimore. Cake locked in that Widow there. He's cooking something interesting here.
We've seen Cake's Widow before, and it's kind of nice. I wonder if he can find some good shots.
Definitely looking for that early pick on one of the supports, and it's gonna make a little bit of a depending on the sightlines here. It's gonna make a bit of a messy fight for that Ashe too. The Widow needs 1, the Ashe needs 2.
This is true, but Ashe is gonna find their mark. Confessor taking out Choco.
And they're back to the May. They gave it up quick. This is no more Widow. They're already back on the May.
Listen, the Widow, it was good. It was a good time. Unfortunately, you got diffed. Your teammate did at least. So.
Yeah, I watch him walk out of spawn, not even get to that closest car to spawn, and go, oh, never mind, I'm out.
I'd like to retract my statement, actually. The Widow's not gonna happen. So far, Confessor feels like just uncontested up on this high ground as Baltimore just running them down. Able to find Guna instantly. The run down for Hyper Ring.
And just as we're saying that Ashe is uncontested, they took the tiny room that the Ashe can't contest in, and Baltimore used that to their favor and got him picks right off the bat here. But both of those supports for Baltimore fell, and
this should be... Ooh, Big Green staying alive there is huge. But a great kind of almost lost fight has been turned around by Washington. Now they're holding on. 2 minutes 40 left on the bank. for Baltimore. No real ults coming up, and you've got a Grav coming out of Washington. That is going to be deadly.
Powerful there. Baltimore's just... Oh, they're taking that high ground. They know that value. They saw what it did for them on the defense here, and they want to do it again.
Now you're looking at some of these big ults coming up. As soon as we see the Juno ult come online, I would not be surprised to hear the orbital ray coming down.
No. Oh.
Grav
Right
catches
into the
2.
grab.
Oh, Grav caught 3, but Liam didn't care. He was going for Choco. And now Bob's going to hang out to help stall the point. Orbital ray is unfortunately not going to help with much.
But
Cool. That Annihilation's coming out. Big Green's going to take the Ana down. Going for that Kiriko, taking both supports, but it's just Ash and Zarya.
Liam
Oh,
on the
Symmetra's coming
point.
back.
Looking for that Juno. A Simwall might be able to help them stall out these last couple parts of the point. Fortunately, it seems like it's just Confessor and Guna left for the side of Washington.
Ooh.
Okay. I think you're fine with it now. You know, definitely initially a little worried about the rush, and then they
I mean,
use
I think I'm
Dave.
worried about both rushes here. I don't know if the counter rush is ever necessary.
Well, hold on,
Feels
hold on.
like
Certainly you don't know the tech.
Maybe it's just a hidden
Probably.
Ruby tech I'm not experienced enough to know.
Surely
man.
when the fight is already over, both Kiris are locked in a contractual obligation to just rush for the shits and giggles.
They just wanted to farm another rush before next fight, and Confessor's gonna pop Choco here. Getting that early pick, but
It's
like
gonna be
Baltimore's in
massive.
here.
Now they're on this high ground without a lot of that pressure. Wall comes out, but Liam's gonna drop. Looking to take the elevator. Confessor finding cake. Confessor finding trash can. Confessor on the Ash might be what Washington needed all along. Man's been going off.
Completely just pick after pick after pick. Fully uncontested here.
Liam's gonna have another grab as well, but you are gonna see a couple ultimates banked up on the side of Baltimore. So far, a decent defense coming out of Washington. There's still 2 minutes 30 left, and Baltimore has just got to get all the way to the end of point 2. Or point B, one of the two.
I'm seeing that Bob come out.
Oh, Bob grab. The Nano,
That's
I think.
a nasty combo.
The Nano, I think you
Nano
might want
maybe
to
not
save.
necessary, but
I didn't even see this. Kieran over onto the junk now. That could be funny. Build up a tire. We've seen a lot of damage over in Emerald so far this season on how nasty these junks can be. And over in Ruby. Shout out to Blue Jet. The absolute
that's for
goat.
the making Farah's quiver in fear everywhere.
So you're looking at this. You're going to have Rush. You're going to have Tire. But you're walking into Orbital Ray. Basically 5.
Speaking of Orbital Ray, right out that bat, they want to open this fight with him, but they're going to counter Tire. Early
And now
pick
that-
on a Choco there.
Now they're up on the high ground. You're not going to get that much value. All right. You're going to get one.
Ooh,
Blizzard
that's
on the high.
big Blizzard. That's
I don't think Liam lives.
Yeah, take
That's
Liam.
unfortunate.
Luckily, Big Green got off at high ground at first, but it doesn't matter. Gingerbread's coming. Granny can't move fast
Easy.
enough to escape a Rom running him down.
Kieran is just going to back up. Already halfway to another tire.
Higher.
But you're running into a
Both
rush.
of those
Annihilation
Kitsunes
and
finally
DPS.
coming back online. Which one?
All right,
Two,
certainly.
3 fights straight without Kitsune rushes.
This is the last leg. Ooh, Guna gonna take out Fran. That's gonna be massive.
Very powerful early pick, shutting down that rush.
Washington gonna
How are you
use
gonna
their
pop rush without a rush to counter it? Come on now. Gotta be
That's
smart
just
here.
unsportsmanlike conduct. Surely it's a flag on the play.
But as just Baltimore's not even gonna give it a chance to get value. They're just gonna back up. They're gonna reset, and they're gonna say, "That's fine. You can use your rush." And Choco coming in with that early pick on the Ash there.
A big kill. Now you're looking at no rush. You're looking at one of your DPS down. You're looking at Guna falling. This is now just Baltimore coming in with the ult advantage they had and winning this fight out. Liam's gonna not be
Completely
long.
sweeping out.
Maybe some
It's
last
looking
second heroics from Confessor, but I doubt it.
As do I. It's looking like a map 2 for Baltimore as well. They're going into this next thing 2-0, and if I were them, I want to clean this up real quick.
Honestly, that was a lot closer for both teams. Once
Very much
Washington
so.
swapped over to this Zarya kind of Ashe setup, it really felt like they were holding their own. Unfortunately, seen right there, I think the big thing that they need to worry about is Confessor taking some of these duels that you don't really need to from time to time, as well as keeping their Ana alive. It felt like Ana was the first to die a lot throughout some of those fights.
Very much so.
So hopefully, going into, again, Washington's map pick, they're able to kind of pick their map with a little bit of an idea going, all right, their brawl is really good. Our brawl that we just did held them to a certain standard. What map do we go into?
Logically, you go, I'd say Flashpoint or Clash here. I think those are both map types that favor brawl heavily. And I think if I were Washington, I'd take that Zarya comp into either one of those. Maybe a New Junk, maybe a Hanaoka here. I think they could pull something out with this.
My first thoughts, I love that we're on the same wavelength. I was thinking a Hanaoka or a Suravasa. I think you've hit the nail on the head perfectly. I think Flashpoint Clash is going to be very good for brawls, but both of those game modes, or at least Flashpoint, plays a little bit more into how Control did. And on Control, it was a very clean sweep on the side of Baltimore. So if Washington wants to go into it, they're going to have to use this new look that they've kind of just discovered, or maybe been practicing with scrims a little bit. They're going to have to play it a little bit differently, as the tempo for both of those games is going to be different than how Control is set up.
Yeah, I think the big change that Washington might need to make to their brawl, just a slight tweak they might need to run a Lucio or Juno themselves, is I think that's what ultimately I think gave a little bit of that edge to Baltimore, is having that speed ring, having that quick rotation. That's what saved them a lot of time around on those last couple brawly fights in Hollywood there, and I think that's what helped edge them out a little bit. Is unfortunately the Kiriana is just a little bit slower compared to that Juno Kiri.
And we saw it time and time again, that Ana just getting picked out time and time again as the first death of the fight. So now Washington's going to go to Rialto. This, I think, kind of goes on a similar idea of what we were talking about the first time where they got to pick, of trying to just stand away from brawl a little bit. Have a little bit longer these sight lines. Goad Cake and Choco into the long range characters that they're both pretty good at, but maybe have a dive to collapse onto them.
And I mean, we saw a Confessor on that Ashe there, and I mean, first point here on Rialto is that Ashe could be lethal. Either side, attacking or defending, that Ashe could get a lot of value. All those sight lines right there.
You're just going to have to be careful of both Cake and Choco, mix up my words there, because they're both very good hit scan players. I think we'll probably see the same Ram kind of brawl. I think they're still under the idea of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I think that if you are Confessor, the Ashe should have a little bit more free reign, because as a Mei, you're shooting the icicles. Choco on the cast is going to have a little bit of harder time now with these longer ranges.
Have they picked a side yet? Looks like Baltimore's still deliberating. They're thinking this through. They're really thinking, what do they want to run here?
We want to
really
end this at
3-0.
3-0. How does it get us there the fastest?
Exactly. Maybe they're thinking, does Arnos want to switch him? Maybe they're thinking they want to switch him and pull that out, see what they can be done. As I said it.
They're pulling in Arunos out for Cake. Now, we saw this in their match against Buffalo, I believe, where we saw Arunos playing tank, Gingerbread going over to the DPS, and Cake hanging out. So this is not a new look for Baltimore, but this is going to be a look of map 3. Washington on the brink of losing. Can they pull it back and begin to claw their way back into the series? We're going to find out soon enough.
Let's see what everyone's cooking here. Let's see what they're cooking here.
Washington's going to start on the attack. I'm seeing it in the mind's eye. It's going to be a monkey. Winton Overwatch is coming out from Liam right now.
I think I would like to see that.
crap. I was wrong. But my God, we have a crazy setup. We're gonna see Trash Can on the Mercy. We're gonna see Choco on the Sombra, Arunos on the Hog, and Gingerbread hopping out on the Sojourn. This is a neat look. Kind of like this look
Very
coming out.
interesting. I think the only thing we called going into this was that Confessor Ash. Lock in it immediately. They know it works. They're gonna try to get that value out of it. But I think Baltimore's playing around that. I think they're running a comp that it's gonna be a lot harder to pressure that Ash, or to get pressured by that Ash, because you know what, the Mercy's not gonna be wanting to play in those sight lines. Maybe the Kiri, maybe the Socheer, but anybody else's, that Ash isn't gonna get as much value as they did against the Brawly comp there.
An early hook comes out and a hack. Liam is taking a beating up on the front line. Able to get healed up for now, but we're still seeing, ooh, good sleep and an anti. It doesn't seem, oh,
Anti. Forcing the Suzu out, but
right now we have Kieran up on the top with Liam trying to take out this Mercy setup. Ooh, Liam's gonna go down.
Early there, and pick top of that, and War's just backing out here. They're not even gonna attempt to make this fight keep going, but taking a pick as they go.
Yeah, Rez is gonna come out, unfortunately, but that's now 30 seconds. Ooh. Well, it was 30 seconds where you had a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, and then Baltimore said, we're going to use this res, and we're going to take a pick with us too. And that Ash is going to fall as well, getting pressured by that Sombra off the high ground there.
I think this is, again, something we've seen a couple times now. Confessor able to get a lot of great duels, but sometimes just taking some unnecessary 1v1s. He gets hacked, he gets shot at like half health, still tries to push in alone against the Sombra.
Washington wants to set up on this high ground again, but that hack combo is just really forcing them off of it.
We see
Bob
coming,
falling low, but
Goon is gonna fall. Bob's gonna be in the back, but it doesn't matter when Washington's down 2 members.
Unfortunately, that Roadhog is taking quite the beating there.
Gonna be down a tank, but right now you're really looking at a 3v4 and Trash Can with the res.
Came up just in time. Back to that 30-second cooldown, but doesn't matter.
We're gonna see Choco just making Liam's life a living hell on
Holy
this
miserable.
Sombra. Oh,
Very good pick on that Ana. And this
staring at sub 2 minutes if you're Washington. You've got some ults coming up. Nano Blade almost at the ready, but is it gonna be enough? You're running into 5 ults on the side of Baltimore.
You're gonna hear that Valkyrie pop. You're gonna hear that EMP pop on that Nano Blade. You're gonna hear that whole hog. Like it's a very high risk, high reward strategy. But if I were on the side of Washington, I'd probably want to open with a pick and then go for that Nano Blade. Maybe force out an ult.
Right. I think it's going to be hard, though. Baltimore right now is patient. They know that they have the upper hand right now. And it seems like they want to wait. We're going to see an early Valk. A bomb going in the back. Not going to find anything. And now there's an EMP. Liam can't go back in the mech.
Very well-timed EMP from Choco there. And he might fall, but
I believe there's going to be a res coming up. Actually, Confessor. Hold on. Confessor
man.
now on the Tracer. Doing some swerk right now.
completely flipping things around.
It's gonna be the Ana Tracer against the Hog
Baltimore in a
Soul.
bit of a corner there, but
And now the rest of Washington has showed up. Somebody's got to heal Liam before he gets out of mech again. Nano Blade is ready. Baltimore had to use 2 ults in these fights. Massive pulse!
That's a massive pulse bomb, and they're gonna Nano Blade on that as well.
Whole Hog is going to take Liam out of mech, and ooh, Guna might need to pop the rally just to keep her team in there.
This is a very, very, very close fight. As every time we see 2, 3 really good picks open up, the other team just flips it back to their favor, and it's just a constant back and forth here.
Gingerbread trying to get out of it as Liam going for him. It seems like it's just Liam for now. Unfortunately, out of mech.
Gingerbread's overclock there, and I think Baltimore might finally be trying to end things here and settle things down here. And not even first point on the side of Washington on their attack here. Just
Full
barely.
hold. Is this, if you're Washington or you're a Washington fan, this is something you do not want to see. You are shielding your eyes, running and hiding under the blanket right now.
After
This
that
is-
double
ooh.
support pick on that pulse bomb to lose that fight, oh, that is rough. That is a rough time for Baltimore. It's definitely not the morale. Is the morale destroyer?
Boost.
I don't.
Not
Well,
the,
you'd want it to be a morale boost, but I think after losing a fight after that, I don't know. I'd be
definitely a little crushing to the soul. And I think
Just
what
a little.
happens in that fight is just like you said, just unfortunate for Washington.
very
Confessor guy's
unfortunate.
a huge stick, gets both supports, but then we decide to also send in the nano blade with it. And Whole Hog,
yeah.
as one single ult, is able to just counteract that, leave him be. You're already up 2. You don't really need to be committing any more ults. And
Not at all.
with Baltimore able to use that Whole Hog, they can just hold it down, stabilize, wait for their team to come back, and then you're at a big advantage in that ult economy. Liam coming in. We're going to be seeing a Ryan May on the side of Washington, hoping for a last stand against this Baltimore team that has been looking a lot more impressive than these past couple weeks.
Very, very much. So they definitely are. They are coming into this match angry, and it shows. They want this win. They want to be. They might still be 1-2, but that's still a win in the books for them.
I am terrified right now. Choco has the Mercy pocketed Widow. And I'm shaking in my boots, so I know Washington's got to be shaking in theirs. There's a kill already.
Early pick.
Wall goes a little wide, so they're not able to confirm the kill on Hog.
Baltimore looking to maybe pick up another kill for.
Another
Well,
great
they dropped that Ash
lead.
back on the Tracer. Ano's dropping low, but it doesn't matter. Oh, maybe it does.
There goes the Ana.
Caster's curse.
Sauce fan, you gotta stop talking, my boy.
I know. Oh man, this is like the third or fourth match I've been doing this. Oh.
Oh, you are never allowed back. Kieran able to take Gingerbread, but I have a strange feeling the res is gonna come out pretty soon. Yep, there it is.
Oh, right on the cart too.
Or if you're watching, you might have a touch. You just cannot get picked by this Widow on your way out.
Very much. And if they can get this touch here, do some maybe not get any more picks. That's a Blizzard coming online. That's a good retake. And a 80 to
Blizzard's
shatter.
All right, we see a frozen Hog.
Oh,
We see Choco going down.
Confessor
All
gonna pick
right.
the Choco.
There's a sleeping Gingerbread too as well. No way to get the res up. Oh, she flies
barely
too
missed
far.
it. That's a new pick,
And you're trading out that Blizzard for Valk. Honestly, not that bad, because if you have sights, I think that's really only helping you in terms of this fight.
Yeah.
Kieran's gonna need a little help. So now you're kind of staring. We
They're
need
only
another
gonna use
big
that
pulse
ult,
for
though.
Confessor.
very much a big pulse, but
Oh my God, he finds
that's
it!
pretty big. He finds it on that Mercy. That's what they needed. No more res.
Now there's a nano coming out on the Reinhardt.
Going out of war, and
Oof. Whole Hog used to keep the supports locked up, or at least keep Guna locked up in the room, but doesn't get anything. Great plays from Washington. Washington coming alive in their final moments right now.
trying to avoid using too many ults either. Each fight is they're still holding on to that shot.
Oh my God, Confessor again goes in and destroys Choco.
Definitely trying to play deep to stop that res, but
Oh, please, somebody shoot. Oh, Trash Can was so low. Now you're going to be down. This is huge for Baltimore. Rush is going to
they're
come
gonna
out.
pop that rush, and they're gonna try to
Free
oh,
shatter! It's going to be fat.
And he's gonna pick that Kiri, but the overclocked Sojourn is gonna be taken out. Half of just all of
Everybody.
Washington's backline there. Oh.
Here comes
gonna pop
Sight, so
that
they
Sight, so
know
watch for
where.
that Trace.
Oh, already down. Can anybody
Warren
touch?
I don't think that Lucio is gonna be fast enough, and
The Sights feels like a cash a curse because I said Sights really doesn't do anything, and they end up taking out the only member
Get
of
that
Washington
pick.
who can touch.
could touch.
3-0 going into Baltimore,
Or-
starting to turn it around.
This ends now.
We're gonna see this overclock here right at the end do so much work. An unfortunate look. Washington still held it really close on map one. It
Very
was
much so.
not super close together, but once you saw map 2 and 3, they started putting some of the pieces together. I think one of the things
Very much so.
that they want to start building towards and kind of working around. Confessor, very hit or miss on the DPS today.
Yeah. And it is just such an unfortunate thing to see out of Washington there, because you could very much see on that first retake right at the end with the Blizzard is they were kicking into gear. They finally were able to lock themselves in. They were finally get that energy going, only to have the momentum just be dropped off of the next two fights. And it is a shame to see, but hopefully they keep the momentum going into the week 4, and maybe they'll pull 2 more wins out of here.
Washington, unfortunately, goes down 0-3 their last 4 games. They've got to go against Buffalo, Chicago, Buffalo again, and then Baltimore again. Washington has a rough schedule ahead of them. Hopefully, they're able to get a win. But this is going to be Baltimore's first win, so let's hope that they can keep that train going. I think that is going to be it from us. Sauceman, any final words before we hop on out?
You made me just realize it's 7 weeks and not 5 this time.
Can confirm. We got a long road ahead of us.
That's what I get for for not looking at the schedule.
Yeah, my God. Well, I think that'll be it for us. Please stay tuned. Coming out later at, I believe, 10:30, we will see Kansas City Carnage going against the Miami Cayman. Should be a good one. Come back for that, but that
Definitely
will
be a good
be
one.
all for
You'll
us.
get to hear me again. I'll be back on it.
Saucepan's running it back. You can't keep
two
him
in
down.
a day. 2 in a day. Woo!
He's cursing everybody. You're not safe. Your mama's not safe. Your dog ain't safe. He's gonna curse them too.
Absolutely.
We look forward to it. Please come back for that. But that'll be us signing off for now. Have a good one.
Have a good one, y'all.